Welcome, YouTube friends and family, to today's edition of the Wellness Homesteader. Now, before you think I'm holiday confused, which I might be, because Walmart had their Christmas decor out alongside their Halloween with a little Thanksgiving thrown in the side, I wanted to let you know that I've been getting questions. Am I going to be doing this year my Christmas gifts from my kitchen, from my heart, whatever? And yes, I absolutely am. So we're actually going to start them a little bit early. And I thought I would bring you this because as a soap maker and a bath and body product maker, we are generally on a much earlier schedule. So we're kind of on the Walmart Christmas schedule. But honestly, guys, this little gift you could use for any holiday that you would like. So we're going to make some holiday bath cookies. That's what I'm going to call them. And these are some very common ingredients that you might already have in your kitchen. And let's get right into it. All right, stay tuned. All right, y'all. So there's a couple ways to make these. This is not my original recipe. And unfortunately, and you know, I always give credit, I can't tell you where I got this from, but I can tell you, just pretend I didn't drop something, that I have actually sold and gifted these for several years, and they've been a huge hit. So what are you going to need? Well, let's talk about dry ingredients first. So the first thing you're going to need is citric acid. Now, I use a food grade citric acid. I do buy the lard. This is actually 10 pounds. I believe I got this on Amazon. I'll link everything I possibly can, y'all. The second thing you're going to need is some arrowroot powder. Now, this I know you can buy at Amazon. You can probably also get it, well, this came from Nature's Oil. I don't even remember. And this is a 5-pound bag. So I buy in quantity, y'all, because that's what behooves me. And then we have some baking soda from the DG. I buy this in the 4-pound packages. So that's what you must have for your dry ingredients. Hang on, I just stepped on a knife. Now, there is a controversial ingredient that some people will want to use, some people will not. So this, and I've got it double bagged for a reason. This is sodium lauryl sulfoacetate. It is a 3-pound bag. You can purchase this on Wholesale Supplies Plus. And again, guys, I'll leave links. This is a foaming agent. This is what makes laundry soap foam. This is what makes your dish soap foam. It's kind of a controversial ingredient. This will make your bath cookies foam. I personally don't like creating with it, not because I'm worried about the people using the product. It's me being exposed to large amounts because it is extremely, extremely fine, and it is very easy to breathe that in. So I'm actually going to be putting on a mask when I make this. So those are our 4 dry ingredients. Now, what do you need for wet ingredients? So y'all probably have all of those things, maybe not the SLSA. Can you make it without the sulfur? I'm just going to call it SLSA. Can you make it without? You absolutely can. You're probably going to want to cut back on what will be your liquid ingredients. So this is super simple. I'm going to be using some ultra refined shea butter. This is Crafter's Choice brand, which comes from Wholesale Supplies Plus. And then I am going to be using some cocoa butter. This I purchased from Brambleberry. Again, links will be below. So those 2 ingredients are going to be highly moisturizing, very good for your skin, and kind of offset some of the other ingredients just having a plain drying effect. If you've ever put baking soda in your water, it can leave your skin feeling a little funny. The final liquid ingredient you're going to need is some sort of essential oil or fragrance oil. I am going to be using a phthalate-free fragrance oil, and this company is called Just Scent. They were just bought out, unfortunately, by Wholesale Supplies Plus, and I am using the Vanilla Bean Noel fragrance. It's one of my favorites. The final item, because it's not really a dry ingredient, it's not really a wet ingredient, right? Y'all, you need some sprinkles. So I have some Christmas sprinkles and also some Halloweeny sprinkles. So the original recipe called for you to use the colored candy melts to melt them down, put them in a bag, you know, like a piping bag, or just a plastic Ziploc bag, and cut the tip off and make a design on it. Some people are like, well, how is that good for your skin? Well, sugar is actually good for your skin. I would be more concerned about any colorant like red dye, etc., that isn't deemed safe. So I am not going to be using any icing. I am simply going to use sprinkles that will decrease the amount of dye in the final product. So let me kind of get organized here, and we'll get started measuring out ingredients. So today I am going to share the entire recipe with you. You also will need some wax paper and cookie trays, cookie sheets, whatever you call them, to actually dish out your cookies on. You can use 2 spoons, or you can use a cookie scoop. I'm going to be using a cookie scoop today because I just find it makes them a lot more uniform. I personally package them in lots of 3 for resale. All right, guys, stay tuned. Let's get started. All right. Oh, I kind of feel like I'm doing surgery, right? But the first ingredient I'm going to start adding is the SLSA. And again, I highly recommend you do wear a mask. And I like to measure that as the first ingredient so that I can put other things that are heavier, like the citric acid, on top of it to decrease the floof factor. So I am putting on some gloves. I have cleaned all of my surfaces here with 91% rubbing alcohol. That's just part of my process. If you're making these for gifts or for yourself, probably wholly unnecessary. All right, so the first thing we need, and I just have a plastic bowl here in a very small kitchen, is 3.5 ounces of the SLSA. I've already slopped it. It's just so fine, y'all. If you breathe on it, it floofs. So let me... It's almost there. Perfect, right on the nose. Now, I keep this double sealed just so that it's not, you know, when it's in the cabinet and I'm moving things around, I'm not floofing on myself. So this is what our SLSA looks like, really fine white powder. Zero out your scale. And the second ingredient is 5 ounces of citric acid. So this is kind of like a bath bomb, guys, only fancier. Woo! Okay, buy a lottery ticket, guys. 5 ounces exactly. And that kind of slipped. So, we'll make this into a chin diaper because now we have our SLSA kind of hidden underneath that citric acid. The next item is 2.5 ounces of arrowroot powder. So arrowroot powder can be used like a thickener. It's a starchy material. What did I say? 2.5 ounces. Gonna tease me now. I went and bragged. There we go. All right, and our final dry ingredient is 16 ounces of baking soda. So if you go to like Dollar Tree, Dollar General, they do sell baking soda in the little 1-pound boxes, so that will work as well. So let's put in our 16. Because I produce in quantity, I buy in the big boxes. Okay. I did go a little over. And y'all, if you are not familiar with using a scale and you're concerned about what just happening, my recommendation to you is just have separate containers and stir it all together at the end. Because it piled up high, I didn't have to worry about pulling out some baking soda. All right, let me set these ingredients aside and we'll talk about the liquid ingredients and the best way to melt them. All right, the first ingredient that we're going to be using is our fragrance oil. I have a little bit left of the Vanilla Bean Noel. We're looking for 0.72 ounces or 3/4 of an ounce. I cannot seem to get that bottle emptied. All right, I'll set that aside. And then this will be added kind of at the end. Now, we do need to melt together both cocoa butter and shea butter. So let me just remind you, cocoa butter has a very, very high melting point. So I use a 1-quart Pyrex cup. Now you may notice it's a little bit hazy. That is because I made lip balm earlier. It's been cleaned out and wiped out with a paper towel. It won't affect this process whatsoever. So what we're looking for is 4 ounces of cocoa butter. Now this particular brand is cubed, which makes it a lot better. If you happen to buy your cocoa butter in blocks, you might want to break it up, shave it up, grate it up, something, because it takes forever in a solid block. And we'll just pull out. Okay, there we go. So it doesn't take a tremendous amount. So this looks like maybe 1.33 cups if you were just dry measuring it, but guys, go by weight. Then the next ingredient is our ultra refined shea butter. Does it have to be ultra refined? No, it does not. But unrefined shea butter is very, very yellow. So just know you're gonna have some yellow cookies. So you might want to alter your sprinkles. So we're also looking for 4 ounces of shea butter. Now I do buy my shea butter in 5-pound bags. So I just like to kind of chop it up a little bit when I put it in, because that shea butter will melt first because it has a lower melt point, and it will kind of help heat up that cocoa butter. Y'all, I have to tell you, I've been kind of off of my game for my Bath & Body products this year. Just straight up because it's been a little bit of a challenging year with my mom, and losing my mom didn't help matters at all. But if my mom was here, she would be asking me why I'm not making soap. And if my beloved daddy was here, he'd be asking for some coffee soap. So drop me a comment below. Would you all like me to show you how to make coffee soap? It's a really nifty soap that you can use. I don't know if I have a bar right here handy to help take odors off your hands. I'm not seeing one real quickly. It makes a huge difference. Plus it exfoliates with coffee grounds. So drop me a comment if that would be something you think would be good for our gifting series. All right, you can do this in a pan of water to heat it. It takes forever. I'm going to do it in the microwave. word of caution, stir it frequently and make sure that you have an absolutely heat-proof vessel. So let me get this into the microwave. I will let you know how long it takes when I get everything melted and combined together. One thing I failed to mention is you probably don't want to go over like a 1 minute increment at a time, and you need to stir it in between because the heat of what has melted will help what hasn't melted to melt. There's a lot of melts in one sentence. The other thing, we did pre-measure out our fragrance oil, but you notice I didn't add it into the liquid ingredients, or the ingredients were melting as I'm melting them. And that is because heat can degrade scents and make them not smell as nice as what they would if you were not heating them. So on essential oil, please just be sure that what you're using is body safe. It's not something that's just meant for diffusing type thing. And guys, be really careful because certain essential oils can be quite irritating. So if you're using heavy mint or tea tree, that can be an issue for certain people. So I like to stay safe with a safe fragrance oil rather than using essential oils for this particular application. So we're just about dissolved here. One little stubborn sliver. So just keep stirring. And this has been 3 minutes total. There you go. So you're gonna have a mixture that kind of looks like this, depending on your shea butter. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna mask up again. Now this has cooled down a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and add in all of my fragrance oil. Smells so good. And we want to add this into our dry ingredients. So it's kind of like bacon, right? And I'm going to scrape this cup out really, really well. Now, what if you get to this point and it's, because you didn't use the SLSA, it's too thin? Personally, I would add baking soda. This should come out just perfectly. And realize, guys, it will firm up as it cools because both our shea butter and our cocoa butter are solid at room temperature. So yeah, this is setting up nicely already. Just trying to get all the dry pieces out. So you're going to have a batter that kind of looks like this. So let's see, I'd call it like a thick brownie batter. Now, as you work, it will start to set up. So I am just going to start scooping out. I'm just using, I think this is a 2 tablespoon scoop. And when you first start pressing them out or putting them out, they're going to naturally fall into a cookie shape. As it begins to cool, you may have to roll it into balls, like you're making a, y'all can't see what I'm doing, a peanut butter cookie. Oh, I just flung some. I could probably be putting these a little bit closer together than what I was doing, so maybe 4 across. So it's kind of like making cookies or muffins. You just scoop it out. Y'all, I wish you could smell this. It smells absolutely unbelievably delicious in here. Whoops, a little for the floor. So I'm not having too much trouble with setup here yet. So I would say work quickly because you do want to put your sprinkles on. And you don't have to use sprinkles, guys, or sugar or whatever you're going to use. You want to get that on before it does set up so that they will stick better. Yeah, I should have. Hang on, guys. Second sheet because I should have put them 4 across. So as you see, these are mounding up maybe a little better than the first ones did. So it's definitely starting to solidify. And this largely depends on the temperature in your house as well. It's cold today, guys. It's in the 40s outdoors. It's 63 degrees indoors, but I'm determined not to turn on the air. The heat until November 1, if I can. Alrighty, y'all. There we have it. Now, you're going to sprinkle on them just like you would a cookie. Super cute. We need to put our little black cat faces on here because they're falling off. So I'm going to do a few, there's an eyeball, a few Halloweenish ones. I always like having some sort of little hostess gift on hand. And then there's a couple of different ways that you can do your Christmas ones. Often what I like to do is put a little bit of the sugar. And guys, if you plan to resell these, like you're doing a craft fair or whatever, I highly recommend that you put a note on there that says, do not consume. Because somebody's going to take a bite of it, and then you're going to have some splaining to do. So I'm going to do half red and half green. You could use gold, you could use silver. Then I have these little doodaddies that I was going to put on there as well. But they almost have to be hand placed. So they're still very soft. No problem there. You could use peppermint. Makes a nice bath cookie too. Just make sure you follow guidelines for your particular essential oil. The IRFA, so that is like the institution that determines the concentration of fragrance or essential oils that should be in a product. So we're coming along here. Let me kind of finish up decorating these, and then I'll talk about next steps and how I package them. I did want to share with you one thing. If y'all have never seen me use this, this is my sprinkle tower that I actually made like little Cricut labels for. So I had some more of these really cute, like Christmassy tap ones that I usually use on my hot cocoa bar. And I thought, oh, why not pull those out as well? This is on Amazon. I'll leave a link to that as well. It just looks super cute. And I have to say, sprinkles are always a big deal here too. So you don't have to label them because they're see-through, but I think they're cute. All right, guys. Next step is we want to put these in the refrigerator until they're firm. So I'm going to put them in, and I will bring you back after I get everything cleaned up to show you some packaging ideas. Stay tuned. You know, it really takes a very short little minute of time for those to harden up. So I am going to show you how I'm going to package and give you some ideas. I'm out of clear tree bags, so I'm gonna have to run to the DG to package them all up, but they come off the paper very nicely and they're quite solid, the wax paper. I usually package them in 3s. I'm gonna do 4 here because the last one was so tiny. I do like to wrap them in like a saran first, and here's why. They can be a little tender, and you can also end up losing a lot of your pretty toppings if they bang around with each other. So I just make a little kind of a package with some clear saran wrap. And then what I like to do, and I did not have any clear bags, but I have an orange one. So how fitting is that for spooky season, right? I will take a little bit of the crinkly filler, not required, but it helps cushion them. I like to set them in like this, and as you can see, they would be a lot cuter in a clear bag, but hey, use what you have, right? And then you can make it as fancy or as simple as you want. For resale, I would put a label on the bag with the ingredients according to laws and rules for Bath and Body products. But since this is going to be probably just gifted to a friend, I'm just going to put a little ribbon on it here. And I will show you here in a second, guys. I mean, what a cute little gift. And generally, one of those bath cookies will really scent your tub, also make you feel nice and silky. So the cautions, if you want to sell these, like if you're doing a craft fair, make sure you follow the recommendations of the cosmetic laws and rules, which is listing all the ingredients with the greatest quantity first down to the least quantity. I do put the caution on there, do not ingest. And I also put some directions in there. Dissolve 1 bath cookie into the water, sit back, relax, and enjoy the luxurious scent, you know, whatever marketing words you want to use. But also, guys, I do put a caution on there. Caution, tub may be slippery after use. I hate that we have to do that. But if you're simply giving them, you could handwrite a tag. Don't even have to put the ingredients on there. And just put some instructions about using 1 bath cookie, because some people may not know. And they smell good enough to eat, I have to tell you that. So definitely put a little caution, don't eat. All right, guys, well, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I need to make some soap. I didn't get around to it yet today. I had to make lip balm as well. So I will probably be bringing you a soap making video. I have not done one in a long time. I've been off my game this year with my little side hustle business, just with everything going on with mom and funerals and all the things. And I've also been doing a lot of work on my homestead. So a couple of you may be confused, like, what was that little short you put up on Sunday all about? So y'all, I've lived here, it'll be 23 years in January. And as you know, you will get accustomed to the way things look. And my trees just kept growing and growing and encroaching more upon the house and upon the yard. And it was really cutting down not only on air circulation, but it was really increasing the amount of moss or green residue that I was getting on my siding. And I had a lot of dead trees in my woods line. So I did have, and don't come for me, 55 trees removed. Now, some were just little saplings like this, but 55 that needed stump removal. And it really cut it back. I can't believe how big my yard is. And I still have beautiful big trees. I didn't cut anything big down, or didn't have anything big cut down. I also had them do some trimming over the chicken coop because there were some precarious branches, and there was also 2 dead trees back behind the fence, and I've already had one disaster there. So that's what that was all about. It really wasn't easy to tell what's been done. So I'll probably take you out and show you in an upcoming video. It's supposed to get a little warmer this week, towards the end of the week, only in the 50s today. So I'll be out trying to red up the final things of the garden, get everything kind of composted down in my beds as well. And we still have loofah to harvest. So I will see you all next week. I hope you've enjoyed today. Don't forget to smash that like button. Leave me a comment below. Have you started Christmas shopping? Are you thinking about gifts that you might be making this season? Is there something you would like to see yet this season, and so that you would have time to make it for Christmas? I'd be glad to do that for you. Alrighty guys, see you very soon, but until then, be healthy, be well, be blessed, and take care.